Well, it's time to defrost the freezer again, Paul. And I've got some top tips from Tesco magazine.
Uh-oh, I think that I might have been doing it wrong this whole time.
Well, who knows, but let's see. Their tips say that for the freezer, you have to try to pick a time when it's relatively empty and store any frozen food you have in cool bags. Unplug the freezer and let the ice melt, laying towels on the floor to soak up water, and remove ice blocks with a spatula to speed things up. Wipe the inside with warm water and vinegar to clean, then make sure it's cold before putting food back in. As for the food, avoid defrosting at room temperature as harmful bacteria can multiply more quickly, especially in meat, poultry and rice. Defrost food in the fridge or on the defrost setting in your microwave.
Well, it looks like I have been doing things wrong because I have not been putting the frozen things into the cold bags. I think I boiled the kettle and then I put it straight into the freezer so that the ice would melt more quickly, and I don't think that I've ever used vinegar to wipe it down afterwards.
And I have to admit that when there was a huge amount of ice build-up, it almost looked like icebergs in there, I actually took a wooden mallet to it. And
I took like one of those silver ones.
What, a knife?
Yeah.
Was it switched off?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Well, there's some more tips here from Tesco magazine. It says, what is the optimum fullness of the fridge? Fill your freezer to 80%. If it's too full, you might block vents, which means air won't be able to circulate properly. And the ideal temperature, it's best to keep the temperature at minus 18 degrees Celsius. If it's too cold, over time you'll notice a build-up of ice. If it's too warm, there's a chance your food will start to thaw. And this would be particularly obvious with ice cream. And I have noticed that in the past.
No, and also I've noticed that it was too full, which is why there was a lot of ice forming.
Oh, right, I see. Now, we have picked a moment where the freezer has been almost emptied, which means we've been eating all the lovely stuff. I had frozen sausages and hash browns and
the frozen guzo.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of them.
Yeah, so it was virtually empty, but there were still a few bits and pieces. And are they still in there, Paul? Well, I think we need to put them into freezer bags. And we also want to clean the fridge part of our freezer, because it's a fridge freezer that we've got, because it hasn't been done for some time.
Does this article say how long the thawing or the thing take to clear the ice?
No, we don't. We
That's
don't.
what I
I think you have to just use your eyes.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, let's get started. All right, Paul, we've opened the freezer door.
I am finding these cold bags first. Let's not do anything until we have them all in place, because I think it's gonna be like a dash.
Well, there's not that much stuff in there.
So the first thing we have to do is turn off this plug.
Oh, right,
which
yes.
I don't think you could see.
No, it's right in there. You can't see.
Come through. It's like right here. So it is making this sound now. So now switch off.
Well, it'll still make a sound probably for a little bit. Oh,
wait.
You must have switched something else off.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
no, the other one should be switched off too.
So why are there two plugs in there?
I don't know. Like 2 sockets.
Oh, right.
Okay, so why don't I bring them out here to show?
Wait a minute. Are there 2 plugs plugged in there?
There's only one plugged in, but
But there's two
there are
sockets. Right, okay.
Okay, so why don't we take out... So this one is empty.
Right, look at that. But it is quite
Icy.
full and icy. There's a few bits in here.
The Guza.
Oh no, there's ice lollies in there. What are we going to do?
Drink it.
Oh, I guess.
I don't know. So
Anyway, they might survive. It shouldn't take that long.
So we only have one unopened. This one was opened, and this was almost finished. This is the tofu guzo that we don't like. And then this is another guzu. So I think there's a lot of convenience food.
Ice lollies. I don't know why I didn't eat those.
Well, we can have them today. So let's...
And there's another drawer still down here. And it looks as though it's broken, this one.
This one was like that.
What have we got in here?
Ice.
Oh. Okay.
So,
and peas as well.
So then here are the dumpling wrappers that we've had for ages.
Right, okay. Well,
So
you'll have to put those away.
They might not keep.
Peas.
And
Ice
block
cubes.
of ice.
So what do we do with the drawers? We should probably sort those out first. What do
I
you
think
think?
worst case scenario, we would just make new ice.
Oh yes, it doesn't matter about the ice.
I don't really think the ice really equates to anything.
Although you should put the ice into the freezer
that
bag.
would keep everything cold.
Yeah, especially those ice lollies. So now you're going to lay down a towel in case there's any drips come out of the freezer.
Because I think that it's going to be a little slushy. So let's put it like this. Do we leave the door shut?
Oh, I would leave it open because you want to have the air coming in. It is pretty manky. It's going to have to be cleaned.
I don't even remember when the last time I cleaned.
Paul, you forgot the peas. Okay, now Paul is going to clean these drawers, get rid of the ice, and I, in the meantime, will empty the fridge. So I've completely emptied the fridge and put all the contents into a couple of freezer bags. So you can see now everything's completely empty. We have got the trays and the compartments that were in the fridge sitting here. So Paul's going to clean those, and he is continuing to clean the drawers from the actual freezer.
Make sure that you are our #1 fan by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It's Paul and Marcus, come on!
What are you doing, Paul?
I am tightening this portable shower rail. So if you live in a house that doesn't have a built-in shower rail, you could buy one of these fixtures. I think we bought this one back in Wilco way back when. And this is either made of plastic or made of metal. So this side of the shower rail doesn't move. So I extended this part as far as I could, and then I tightened the lever in one direction. I think I can't say clockwise or anti-clockwise.
And it's just held in place by the wall and the
Yeah.
tightening of it, correct?
Back then, we would have it on this metal structure, but then I think I kind of wisened up, and then I think one day I brought it up, and then I started to tighten the bolts, I guess. So now you could close it without having the water come through. I have a tip and trick for you, and this time it involves your toilet seat and toilet seat cover. So after you go do #1 or #2, I have been lowering the toilet seat cover because when you flush, the mechanism does go up about 6 feet above, and then it does go out quite a bit as well. So all this dirt from the number 1 and number 2s, it's all over the place, and you really don't really want to have fecal matter on your toothbrushes or any other surface in particular. So I think the best way to not have fecal matter on your work surfaces or any type of surface in the bathroom, it's best to cover the toilet seat so that it is contained to the toilet bowl itself. And this is another trick that I learned. That if you do have toothbrushes, you could soak them in mouthwash to try to kill off some of this fecal matter. So I did learn this from Morning Live, so I must give them credit for this, because then it kind of disinfects, I suppose. So it's best to maybe keep the germs to an absolute minimum.
Now what are you doing, Paul?
I am cleaning the shower because I really don't like to have these dark marks stretched along the bit of the shower, because I remember at one point we were not cleaning and removing all of this moisture from the shower, and then there was lots of dark marks and it looked a bit yucky. So you could buy a daily shower spray. This is W5, but there are other retailers that do sell similar products. So it's good to buy what you can when you can. So all you have to do is turn the nozzle from stop to spray mode, and then spray it on the ledge and along the surface, and then this will remove any streaks and prevent any of the condensation or the moisture from setting on the bottom, and it will leave your shower a lot cleaner and a lot nicer looking.
And you don't have to dry this off, you just spray it and then you leave it.
So you spray it and then you just forget about it.
And the other top tip is to make sure that you have the window either open or on the latch a little bit to get some circulation in after you shower.
Yeah, because I think the shower is synonymous for moldy bits, and it could get very humid and very nasty, because that's what the germs and the bacteria thrive off. So it's best to do this. When was the last time you cleaned your hairbrush? I can honestly say that I haven't. I have never cleaned my hairbrush. This one doesn't look like there's a lot of hair stuck on this, although you could see maybe a few strands, but you do see a lot more hair and hair particles. Did you know that many of these hairbrushes do have fecal matter? So if you have it close to your toilet, then it's more susceptible to have fecal matter on your hairbrush, which sounds nauseating to say the least. Okay, so you could either use bicarbonate of soda and water, or you could use some simple shampoo to clean and to keep your hairbrush a lot more hygienic. Put some shampoo in here if it comes out. Yeah, I think I used a lot. Let's put some warm water in. And I am using a mini toothbrush that I got from the plane to help demonstrate this process. I think we should leave it soaked for a few minutes. So I am going to fill it up to the rim so that it will be nice and soaked. I am gonna soak both of these hairbrushes and move them every so often so that they're all coated. And why don't you come back after this little break, and then I'll show you how easy it is to use the toothbrush to scrape off all that dead hair and skin and nastiness from your hairbrush, because it looks a bit disgusting. So hopefully this will show you how easy it is to clean your hairbrush.
Please do, as it says on the wall behind me, please do subscribe to Paul and Marcus on YouTube.
Okay, so it has been nicely soaked for I think an hour. So I am going to use this toothbrush and I'm going to go like this, brushing within the bristles. I think the first thing I need to do is remove any hair. Ew. So when you realize that there is no more hair stuck to the hairbrush, then it's good to dip it in and keep brushing off any excess hair. I think for this one, it has been pretty much all good. So I think I'm gonna brush down this way and then brush down this way. So it's basically removing any excess hair and also particles that might be stuck onto your hairbrush. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the progress that I made. A little strags here and there.
Gosh, look how clean it is, Paul.
It has taken 2 hours, just about. So the first thing that goes in are these glass panels. Which way do they go? This way? This way? This way, right? Oh, I don't know.
Well, we'll leave Paul to put all the bits and pieces back into the fridge and freezer. And we will be back in a moment with some more tips and tricks about how to look after your food once it's back in there. Well, I think you'll agree that looks so much better now than it did at the start. But that's not the end, because we have got a few more tips and tricks from Tesco magazine about what to do with food and how to look after your freezer. So people often wonder, can you freeze certain things? So can you freeze whole lemons and limes?
Yeah.
So it's, oh, well, yes, you can. Zest from frozen. Thaw, roll and juice or cut into segments. Can you freeze certain cheeses?
Yes.
Well, no. So certain cheeses like brie, camembert and cream cheese don't freeze well because their texture changes. But hard cheeses and mozzarella are great for popping in the freezer. So you were partly right. What about rice?
I wouldn't.
Well, apparently you can. It says cool within an hour and freeze for 1 month, but ensure that it's piping hot before eating. What about eggs?
No.
Yes, you can. Both the whites and the yolks can be frozen as long as they're not in their shells. What about nuts? Yes, and they can be stored whole or chopped. What about salad items? Like lettuce, I suppose. That sort of stuff.
No.
Indeed, due to their water content, avoid freezing cucumber, lettuce, celery, and uncooked tomatoes. What about uncooked potatoes?
Yes.
No, instead parboil them before freezing to help retain their texture and flavour. And finally, can you freeze yogurt, cream, and creme fraiche?
No.
You can. Small portions can be frozen in ice cube trays. However, be aware that the texture will change after freezing, so they're best used in smoothies or bakes.
So overall, we could freeze vegetables and fruit.
I don't think it mentioned that, did it?
Do you
Lemons and limes, it said, yes.
So what about other fruit, like bananas or something?
Oh, it's not on my list, so I don't know. You'll have to Google that.
I think that we could freeze bananas because it's kind of hard, isn't it?
I think you could probably, but just look it up. So here's 4 ways to plan like a pro. Number 1, portion before freezing to avoid defrosting too much. Try pouring the food into a bowl or onto a plate to see what a serving looks like. 2, label all your food with when it was frozen and how many portions are in the bag, and don't forget to write what's inside. 3, rotate your food so that the oldest freezer bags or boxes are always nearest to the front. And 4, list everything that you have in the freezer and check before you go food shopping to prevent unnecessary doubling up. That saves money, you see.
And also, don't forget that you could do a lot of this unfreezing, defrosting in the air fryer as well, because I think that they do have like a
setting?
Like a reheat. But then I think you would just put it on for slightly longer. I think I do see the defrost in the microwave oven, but then I don't really know how to use it.
No, I've got no idea how to use it either. And isn't there also a defrost on a toaster for bread?
Yeah, apparently.
On some toasters anyway. Okay, so what goes where? The top drawer, ice cream, chips, batch cooked meals, bread. They're all easily accessible here, it says. The middle drawer, fruit and veg. Keeping these together means you're less likely to double up on items, and it cuts down on rummaging. And the bottom drawer, meat, fish and poultry should be kept here to avoid cross-contamination. I think that goes more for the fridge rather than the freezer.
I think the freezer, anything goes.
Oh, yeah, well, almost. Well, don't be frozen out on YouTube. You need to subscribe to our show. Isn't that right, Paul?
Yes, for those of you that have liked today's really informative episode, give us a thumbs up. For those of you that haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. And for those of you that want to leave a comment, you can do so as well.
As long as it's not nasty, because those will be deleted, because that's not allowed on YouTube. It is a happy forum, a friendly forum. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee to help us along the way, there is a link in the description. And we'll see you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.